Hey there, folks. Glasses on tonight, as you can see. I was sort of stuck for an idea for tonight. Excusez-moi. I mean, I guess I could have just repeated what I said in my blog. You know, my chest cold's become a head cold. I feel like crap, etc., etc. But then I had a kind of interesting science fictional idea. It's something I've touched on before, but I feel like taking another whack at it. Well, I'll start it this way. I am a big fan of homeostasis. Do you know what that means? Of course you do. But for those of you who may not, it's one of the definitions of a mammal. And it means that we maintain through various systems certain constants in our bodies, so that essentially we're always running at peak efficiency. That's part of what it means to be a mammal. We generate our own heat. We and regulate that through sweating and metabolism and so on. We maintain a constant blood pressure. Our skin maintains itself via sweating, things like that. And, being mammals, and we like to think of ourselves as somewhat advanced mammals, we're pretty good at it. But the human being as a creature, as Homo sapiens sapien, is getting interestingly close to a homeostasis threshold, where we will actually be able to extend our homeostasis into realms that is never touched before. One example would be dynamic insulin pumps. Now, the problem with diabetes is that you either do not produce sufficient insulin, or possibly at all, or you've become resistant to your insulin. So, right now, we handle that in a relatively clumsy way. You test yourself, you go, no, that's too high, take more insulin. Go too low, oh god, I better go eat something. And it gets the job done, but it's kind of sloppy. But in the future, you may very well have a device that essentially takes over for your pancreas. The pancreas that doesn't work, or needs help. So, it measures your blood sugar thousands of times a second, and it adjusts the amount of insulin it's giving you accordingly. So that you could actually have the right blood sugar level, somewhere between 7 and 10, all the time. Suddenly, your broken homeostasis works again. Or there are degenerative eye conditions that we currently can't do a lot about. And the people with those conditions often have to get the prescription on their eyeglasses changed a lot, depending on how fast the disease is progressing. But in the future, we're looking at a place where you could have glasses that adjust themselves. I mean, this could be for everyone, not just for people with degenerative eye diseases, but glasses that can actually measure the important variables of what's going on in your eyes and adjust in tiny, tiny ways that you barely even notice your prescription until it reaches the optimal. Suddenly, you have homeostatic eyes again. And just imagine, I'm trying to think, like, if in a future where we have, like, say, I don't know, the ability to control a room's temperature to within 1,000th of a degree, making adjustments, millions of times a second. What would that be like, subjectively, psychologically? Would you be, like, extraordinarily comfortable without knowing why? Because I mean, if this became the norm, people would get used to it, right? It wouldn't seem like this awesome new thing where you're always so relaxed. And yeah, would people just be happier essentially? I'd like to think they would, but it's not impossible that this will somehow irritate a system in us that we didn't really know we had, and for some reason we'll have a problem with the technology. So, those are my thoughts for the evening. Just imagine if everything in all the important variables of life could be held perceptually constant. Like, if it changes, it's by way less of a degree than we can detect. It could be a very moderate future. And no one would be too hot or too cold or too sick or too tired or whatever, unless, honestly, they really felt like it. That's all from me for tonight, folks. I will talk to you nice people again tomorrow. Bye-bye.